Good morning, everybody. We're coming to you from Aaron Bailey Park. But before we get into the walkers here at Aaron Bailey Park and the traffic on Robinson Road and the Marathon Mall area, we're now joined by Sergeant Cresnia Johnson. Cresnia, as always, overnight traffic matters.
Okay, a pleasant good morning to you and a pleasant good morning, Bahamas. Over the 24-hour period, we have a total of 10 accidents, 9 of which involved damages and 1 traffic accident that involved some injury. We now have 8 persons who are hospitalized as a result of being involved in a traffic accident.
It seems that people are still out on the streets past the 7 o'clock curfew.
Yes, and we just spoke about that on yesterday, and we find that we advise the general public reference to vehicles being on the road at that time. But again, we find that a number of persons did not plan ahead and were not in their homes and securely in their homes around that 7 o'clock hour. So, of course, we have a number of persons being cited, some persons being arrested. So, again, we are asking the general public, as much as possible, we are pleading to you, get indoors before that time. A good time that we recommended yesterday was at 6:30 period, and the latest at 6:45. Because within that window, you're able to get to where it is that you need to get. Now, another thing, if you find yourself traversing the street during that time, it's close to that 7 o'clock hour, a lot of persons begin to speed, and that contributes to a number of our traffic accidents involving injuries. So as a result of this, we are again asking as much as possible to plan ahead. Plan what it is that you have to do that throughout the day, and to recognize the fact that, guess what, the road is going to be busy. Not only you are going to be traversing the streets, a number of persons are going to be doing the same, so they need to get to where they need to go. So please do so ahead of that lockdown period.
Talking about busy street, we're here in the Marathon Mall area, intersection of Robinson Road, and it's busy already. We're seeing some infractions already. Persons not using the left lane properly.
Yes, that's one of our number 1 infractions within this area, besides failing to adhere to the traffic control light. Besides that, we know everybody's familiar with this lane, this eastbound lane, and we find that persons who are going to turn onto the east-west highway, you have that lane once it's blocked. Drivers are still forcing their way over into that lane, especially when the light changes, in order to go along that route. So again, we find that is failing to keep left, and that causes a number of accidents, especially when persons do it in such an erratic and hazardous fashion. You have persons who just swing over into that lane, and that's failing to keep left. Those fines range anywhere from $100 to they can even go into dangerous and reckless driving.
I'd like to say kudos out to our cameraman, Rodney Davis, who's doing a superb job this morning getting all those shots. And now we are here on Aaron Bailey Park. We're seeing some things. Yeah. Persons are exercising, some wearing their masks, some not wearing their masks, but they're breaking a major law. Yes,
they are. Well, as we again reflect on the different protocols that are in place as it pertains to exercising, because some people probably just don't know. Let's assume that fact. Okay, so if that is the case, like we have advised several persons on the park this morning, you're not to be on this park. Parks and beaches, they are closed during this time, and we want to avoid exactly what you see this morning. Persons are on the park. A number of persons said they can't wear their mask because it's going to hinder their breathing. All of this is being taken into account, and this contributes to the reason why the parks and beaches are closed. You want to encourage exercising to be done between the time period of 5 a.m. to 7 p.m., and that is to be done in your neighborhood. On the weekend, that is your exercise period is to be conducted in your yards. And again, during that time, I just want to advise you to be vigilant, because even though you are in your yards or in your neighborhoods, you still do not want to make yourself a target and make yourself available to any offender who's seeking to come at you. So at the same time, again, we're looking out for your health and your safety as much as possible. We're asking again for you to adhere to the lockdown period, and again, being on the parks and beaches, again, as I reiterate, they are closed, and we need you as much as possible to wear your mask. All of these situations can be avoided. These are behavioral offenses. These are something that you can avoid getting into. So if you can avoid this problem, please avoid it.
Sergeant Cresnia Johnson warning some of the persons here on the park this morning to please wear your mask. It may be difficult while you're exercising and trying to breathe, but it's all for safety and health concern.
Yes, yes. So again, we reiterated, we've heard the cries of several persons out here this morning. Some persons were wrong and strong, but we're advising that even though you're wrong and strong, that we do have the law on our side as relates to public safety and health, and we're looking out for the public safety and health of everybody. So please, once you're doing these acts, be advised that you are at fault and you're going to face some consequences for your actions.
So once again, the Aaron Bailey Park and all parks and beaches are closed. You're not supposed to be exercising. So these persons out here are going to get warned from Sergeant Creston Johnson, and matters will follow. Back to you in the studio.